Today we're going to be talking about classic metal. We're going to talk about the song Ace of Spades, made famous by Motorhead. Within this lesson, we're going to talk about a few different things. We're talking about playing in the style. We're going to talk about the sound. We're going to talk about some right hand techniques. We're going to learn the riff and the song. And then we're going to put it all together at the end with a play along. Alright, so first things first, we're going to get you in tune, and we're going to talk about the tone to dial in. Alright, so first things first, you want to get in tune with the track. This song, like a lot of metal and rock songs, is tuned down a half step. There's a few different reasons why you'll do that, but first, let's just go over how to get to that. With your tuner, you just want to tune each individual note down a half step. So, E's going to go to E flat, your A is going to go to A flat, D to D flat, G to G flat, B to B flat, E to E flat. Good thing to know the names of the strings. So what this is going to do is it's going to release a little bit of the tension on the guitar. It's going to make it sound a little bit denser, a little bit thicker. Perfect in this style. Then you want to dial in a very chunky Marshall each sort of overdrive sound. It's going to help you move along this whole field. All that distortion kind of fills in those holes. So now you're ready to go. So now for the riff. With the riff, I'm also going to show you a few different techniques, right-hand techniques, and just ways to capture the essence of this style. All right, so we're going to start with the riff. Here it is slowly for you. Okay, so what that is, just really slowly, is the E string, then mute it with your thumb, and then, so notice the mutes in between. So here's the full riff. So there's a few techniques in there that you want to be aware of when you're playing this. First of all, that skip between the two strings is not easy. So when learning this riff, you want to try to slow it down so that you can get to these things slowly. Because if you can't play it slowly and make it sound right, there's no way once it gets fast you're going to be able to do it. So always start these things slow and then speed up to the tempo. So let's talk about the right hand a little bit. What you have here is pretty fast picking, and you want to, work your way up to this and make sure you're very comfortable with this. But one technique that I'll use in order to get this is, instead of the pick being completely perpendicular to the string, I'll tilt my thumb a little bit so the pick kind of rolls off the string. So what you have is this, as opposed to this, which creates a little too much resistance with the pick. You can hear that this way is much more fluid. So what you want to do is you probably want to get yourself with a metronome and practice this, just literally, until you can get it up to speed. And then you've got... And if you notice on my right hand, it's constantly doing this. I'm not stopping. It's... And there you have it. All right, here's one more variation on the riff that you'll hear in the track, and this is another technique that's used a lot in this style. It's palm muting, and it's as easy as this. All I'm doing is taking the fleshy part of my palm, laying it on the string, and picking just the same. So you have the difference of this. You can hear the difference. It sounds really thick and heavy. This presents itself in the riff where it goes. And really slowly, all that is so it's good to practice these things. Again, start them slowly so you can really understand the feel, because the fear when you're playing this fast is that everything gets too choked up and you start gripping the pick too hard, and that's going to get in the way of actually making this track sound good. So real quick, here is a version of both of the riffs. Alright, so now let's learn the other parts of the song so that we can put it all together. The intro's happened, you've introduced the riff, and now out of the riff, when the vocals come in, this is what happens. And you're just going to play a G chord like that with all the strings ringing open. But you really want to pay attention to the rhythms because the guitar and the drums play directly together. So what you have is this. Okay, so here's all that piece together. All right, so that's the first little chunk. Then you've got the next riff, really slowly. So let me show you how that fits in. So you've got then you're going to go to the D chord, just let it hold. Then the C power chord, 2 hits. Remember, all these hits are with the drums. Back to the other riff. Just one time. To the D power chord, 2 hits. And 2 hits on the C, and then back to your main riff. Alright, so those are all the parts of the verse slowed down. Let me play them for you all together. So I'm going to show you slowly the riff that presents itself between the phrases of the vocal. And what it is slowly is a muted low E string. And you're basically, a way to look at this is you're in your E pentatonic shape. But low E string. You're just going to fret the 3rd and 2nd string at the 14th fret. Bend to the half step and then release it. Then 12th fret, both strings, 14th fret, so slowly. We're just resolving down to the E, the 4th string, 14th fret. So one time slowly. There you have it. All right, finally, let me just show you the very end of the song. When you come back around and you come back to the riff, there's a different variation of the riff. And we're going to use our muting technique, and you're simply just going to play the 2 E's. This is the simplest version. There's a little bit of a variation going on in the recording, but simply put, you can just... It's the dynamic that you're looking for there. And then there's a high section at the very outro, which is just a bend from the 14th fret, second string, holding down the first string on the 12th fret. And what's happening underneath that is a D and C just going back and forth. So you got... And then finally, which is E, D, E. Not once, but twice. Alright, now we're going to learn the solo note for note. This way you're going to have a good launching pad for how to play and what to play at this kind of speed and this style. Alright, we've made it this far. Now let's tackle the solo. Playing at this speed is not the easiest thing in the world. And a good thing to do just to kind of capture the feel and how to make your phrases at this tempo is learn the way other people did it. So we're going to learn this solo note for note. It's 4 pretty simple phrases, and it'll be a good launching pad for you for creating your own solos. We'll talk about that in a second. Before that, let's discuss the little section right before. There's a breakdown section that builds into the solo. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our muted riff. 4 times. And then there's going to be some hits. It's just D power chord up to E. Does it 2 times, and when you follow the tempo, the timing of the vocal, then it builds up on the E. Then it goes back down to D, and then there's a little riff that connects these chords. It goes. Okay, so that's just E, D, C, D, all power chords. But there is a rhythm, and the rhythm, now you're going to play a little bit of rhythm guitar, and this is going to be useful for the whole tune, but the rhythm that underlines this is which is pretty much the underlying rhythm of the whole song. But so that whole section goes like this. And those hits, so then you're into your solo. Now, the interesting thing about this solo is you're not going back to the key center of the song, which is E. You're going to start on A, and all of his phrases are coming out of A pentatonic. And then the rhythm guitar goes up to B. It's always very important to know what chords you're soloing over. Then it's just going to go up to B power chord, and then you're in the B pentatonic scale. With the occasional blue note thrown in there. So now let's tackle the solo phrase for phrase. Here we go, the first phrase. Now you notice this little phrase, that rhythm is going to come up in each individual phrase, and it's also the rhythm that the rest of the rhythm section is playing. And that's how you're going to connect going from the key of A to the key of B. So one more time slowly. All right, that's phrase 1. All right, phrase number 2, the rhythm section moves up to B. You're going with them. B pentatonic. Here's the riff. So really slowly. From there, the transition to get back to A, you're going to play the G string and the B string together, the G string on the 11th fret, the B string on the 10th fret. Now, one thing to recognize here is these are all blues riffs, basically, just sped up. So what you're going to do here is just fast picking. One way to make this a little easier is move your right hand up onto the fretboard and you can get that. But then with the hits of the drums, you're going to go. So just move that up each fret. So one more time. So you're coming from this riff. One thing I want you to pay notice to is that this trill is a theme that keeps coming up. It's kind of a good way to fake speed almost. So again, we've got. Then the riff after that is. So slowly. So the whole phrase together. That's your whole solo. Now we're going to make sense of all this, put it all together, and play it down from the top with a backing track.